Imagine staring at a radar screen and seeing nearly 1,000 blips hurtling toward your country's most critical military and logistical assets. A swarm of 800 to 900 kamikaze drones engineered to overwhelm, saturate, and destroy. This was the terrifying reality during Operation Sindoor. In modern warfare, as we've seen in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, a swarm of cheap $20,000 drones can paralyze a nation. You cannot just fire a $2 million missile at every piece of flying plastic. You would bankrupt your military in an afternoon. So, when 900 drones crossed into Indian airspace, the world expected devastation. Instead, they hit a wall. An invisible, impenetrable barrier that resulted in 0 strategic hits and 0 casualties. Today, we are looking at one of the most masterful displays of modern air defense: India's unified counter-drone system. We're going to break down India's 3-ring Airshield, how the S-400 pulled off a record-breaking 313-kilometer sniper kill, and why this system is fundamentally different from Israel's famous Iron Dome. To understand how India survived Operation Sindoor, you first have to understand that their air defense isn't just a line on a border. It is a massive, multi-layered geographic web. Military strategists call it the 3-ring Airshield. Ring 1 is the immediate perimeter, 0 to 500 kilometers. This includes heavily fortified air bases like Leh in the north and the nationwide defense hub in Gwalior. Ring 2 pushes the perimeter out further, leaning heavily on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. By militarizing these islands, India creates a choke point over the Bay of Bengal and the Malacca Strait, securing up to 1,500 kilometers of strategic depth. Ring 3 is where it gets staggering. This ring extends from 1,500 to 4,000 kilometers, reaching as far as Aini and Farkhor air bases in Tajikistan, Duqm in Oman, and even utilizing access to the Cocos Islands via Australia. Why does this matter for a drone swarm? Because modern air defense requires pushing the threat as far away from your borders as possible. You don't wait for the enemy to reach your doorstep. You track them the second they leave theirs. As the 900 drones launched during Operation Sindoor, India didn't panic and start firing kinetic missiles wildly. They activated the first layer of their defense, the electronic wall. Drones, especially in swarms, rely heavily on 2 things: GPS for navigation and data links to communicate with their operators, or motherships. India deployed its unified counter-drone system utilizing heavy electronic warfare, or EW. Across the border, high-powered jamming systems flooded the electromagnetic spectrum. GPS signals were spoofed or entirely blocked. The data links connecting the drones to their command centers were severed. The result? Over 60% of the drone swarm was neutralized without firing a single bullet. They flew blind, crashed into empty fields, or simply dropped out of the sky. But EW alone isn't enough. A swarm this large is coordinated by a larger, high-value asset lingering safely out of range, or so the adversary thought. Behind every coordinated drone swarm is a brain. In this case, it was an adversary airborne early warning and control, AEW&C aircraft, hiding hundreds of kilometers away, guiding the drones toward their targets. This is where the Russian-made S-400 Triumf stepped in. The S-400 is not designed to swat drones. It is an area denial weapon. During Operation Sindoor, the S-400 tracked the enemy AEW and C aircraft and fired. In a record-breaking maneuver, the S-400 interceptor traveled a staggering 313 kilometers to destroy the surveillance plane. It was one of the longest surface-to-air kills in military history. By taking out the brain, the S-400 effectively decapitated the drone swarm. Simultaneously, India had its Wolfpack airborne. This is a hybrid tactical formation where different aircraft cover each other's weaknesses. Rafales, with their world-class electronic warfare suites, provided cover, while Su-30MKs carried heavy payloads, and indigenous Tejas fighters stood ready for dogfights. The airspace was completely locked down. The mop-up. With the command plane destroyed and the electronic wall jamming their signals, the remaining fraction of the 900 drones limped toward Indian airspace. Now, many people ask, why doesn't India just build an Iron Dome? Israel's Iron Dome is an incredible piece of engineering, but it is a shotgun designed for point defense. It protects highly concentrated civilian populations from unguided, low-altitude rockets fired from just a few kilometers away. India, on the other hand, is a massive subcontinent facing advanced militaries. They require a layered area denial network. For the straggler drones that made it through the EW jamming, India relied on its innermost ring of defense. Close-in weapon systems, CIWS, automated anti-aircraft guns, and quick-reaction, shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles easily picked off the blind, uncoordinated drones. It was a systematic, tiered slaughter of the drone swarm. Out of 800 to 900 drones launched, not a single one hit a strategic target. The only reported casualty was a minor incident completely unrelated to a direct drone strike. Operation Sindoor was a wake-up call to the world. It proved that the era of relying solely on expensive interceptor missiles is over. To defeat a swarm, you need electronic warfare to blind them, a sniper like the S-400 to kill their commander, and close-in systems to mop up the rest. It was a masterclass in modern defense strategy, and a stark warning to anyone thinking of testing the three-ring Airshield. Thank you for watching. What do you think is the future of drone warfare? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more deep dives into military history and strategy, make sure to hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.